Join me, Mark Windows, for Windows on the World live every Sunday 9 to 11 PM GMT. Check out our archive and programme stream at windowsontheworld.net. Welcome to Windows on the World. I'm here with Piers Corbyn. We go out live every Sunday night at 9 to 11 PM on Spreaker. And please subscribe to us on Spreaker. And of course YouTube and BitChute. We're going to be talking about a recent case in California. And the newspaper headline is "Climate Trial Backfires on Environmentalists." And it was San Francisco District and Oakland who were amongst the people who got involved in this litigation against oil companies. They're blaming oil companies for global warming. Now, the trial was meant to be recorded, but somebody forgot to turn the camera on, it is stated. So it's very strange that you get a court case that relies on basically projections into the future. It's not something that I've even heard of happening before. And we're with Piers Corbyn and we're going to talk about that. So, Piers, what do the oil companies really believe? I think we should start off with this.
Yes. The point here is, you see, the subtext of this has been Exxon knew, that's the point they say, and then Exxon knew all along that there was this big problem they were causing and they were covering it up. Well, but Exxon say no, they go along with the story. So the issue is, have they covered anything up? Well, the answer is they have covered nothing up from their point of view of belief. However, I know from my own experience, as do a number of other people, that the oil companies do have a view, actually, or they did in 2004, that it's the sun what done it. If you like, because I was invited to the Global Oil Summit in 2004, where the biggest oil companies were present. Vladimir Putin's chief scientific advisor was there, the director of Iraqi oil, and all of them were there. And I gave a presentation showing how the sun was driving changes in climate. And after the presentation, a man comes up to me and he flashes through a stack of paper and says, "Oh, Mr. Corbyn, just to let you know that we are on the case." And he showed me graphs which were similar, same sort of basic stuff to the graphs I'd shown. And I said, "Yeah, well, that's great, so why am I here then?" He said, "Oh, we want to check from a real scientist active in the field and doing forecasting now that we're on the right track." I said, "Okay, and who are you?" He said, "I, until this meeting where I'm resigning or moving on, am the chief executive of ExxonMobil." So they know the truth, you see. Anyway, a couple of months later, some friends of mine said, "Look, you should ask them for money." Now, I didn't want to ask oil companies for money. But what we agreed was we'd ask the United Nations for some money and the oil companies for money to have both sides supporting our researches. The message came back from the oil companies: "We do like very much what Mr. Corbyn says, but we do not want to give him any money because that would upset the green lobby." In other words, in 2004, the oil companies collectively decided, one, they know what's causing climate change and it's not CO2. Two, how to make money out of the scam, the story, the hoax, the global warming swindle. So that's why they go along with the global warming swindle. So where will this case go? I don't know, because the judge is realising that both sides are relying on a lie. Obviously the oil companies are not covering up in the sense that the warmists, the green campaigners are claiming, but I think there's a number of things that really come out of this. The Greens have had a very big shot. And William Alsop, the judge, is, thankfully, a judge that believes evidence is necessary in court. And if it isn't necessary in court, that is the end of the Western world judicial process. So I'm glad he's standing up. A lot of things came out. One was that you mentioned all the geological timescale stuff, which the judge has brought out, and they've admitted and said, look, there's nothing to do with CO2. I think the quotes about Miles Allen are really very, very damning, because Miles Allen, you see, he's a top university professor in the University of Oxford. He's a leading campaigner on man-made climate change and causing and calling for you to pay more taxes to save the planet, right, and pay more on the oil prices, because that's where the oil companies make money. Huge increase in oil price in order to save the planet, to justify the burning of fuel, so it's cheaper for farmers, or it's profitable for farmers to sell fuel to be burnt as opposed to sell it for food, or sell maize to be burnt. Now, the judge said about Miles Allen, he criticising, he said, for using a misleading illustration to represent CO2 in the atmosphere, and a graph ostensibly about temperature rise that did not actually show rising temperatures. Now look, for a judge to call a top professor this is basically saying he's a liar.
Well, it's interesting because what he's done is the judge has actually, he's taken a position based on research. So what he did, he actually researched all this stuff. He researched the IPCC, what they were actually saying, and he's questioning, which is very, very strange. So the judge isn't judging one side against another, because both sides are using the same data, but the judge is taking up, it seems, a contrary position in that he's actually analysing what's in those documents. So it's a very interesting thing. Have you got anything to say in conclusion?
Well,
to that?
yes, I would like to say two things. One is, I'd like to be invited by the judge to the court. Now, I have no idea of the procedure, because neither side is going to want me there. That is completely sure. But I think for us, what we're seeing is the accelerating end game of the global warming fraud. And you should tell your politicians, right, that as a court case showing that it's false, there's more and more scientific evidence showing the world is cooling, not warming. So you should demand your politicians stop supporting the global warming scam and bring down electricity prices, which have been forced up to pay for the scam. And, you know, the global warming swindle must be destroyed.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about that on the show. We've talked about it a lot before. You can find our archive at windowsontheworld.net. We're live at windowsontheworld.net every Sunday. We're going to be carrying this on, and we're also going to be talking about the forthcoming mini ice age. So we'll see you soon on Windows on the World. Remember to subscribe to us on Spreaker and YouTube while we're still there, and of course BitChute, help us out with that as well, and we'll see you soon.
Windows on the World live every Sunday 9 to 11 PM GMT. Join me, Mark Windows, and Tony Hurst. Join the conversation in our chat box and also catch up with life-changing information on our continuous programme stream at windowsontheworld.net.